Inside this box is the reason why I think Shopsmith is one of the greatest home power tools ever made. Let's open it up and see what it is. And it's not a bandsaw. So why do I think Shopsmith is the greatest power tool ever made? I've just gotten one and I'm already a fanboy of it. But if you watched my last video where we opened up the shaper table or shaper stuff, shaper cutters, shaper, you know what? I called it a router table in my last video because I don't know, you can't see behind me there, but I've got a router table underneath my bench, and that's what I've always used to kind of shape things, or put roundovers and things like that in on it. And in the Shopsmith world, it's called a shaper. Probably other parts of the world too. I've never heard that term. I always just call it a router, but it is different. Router bits and shapers are a little bit different when you come down to it. So I did misspeak on that. And holy cow, my growth rings, if you've ever seen my growth rings YouTube channel, he is like the holy grail godfather of Shopsmiths. Everything I've learned about Shopsmith and stuff so far has been from his channel. He's an amazing teacher, and he's a super huge advocate for Shopsmith. He recently just did an interview with the new owner of Shopsmith. So Shopsmith finally has a new owner, and it's going to be back in business making stuff. I'm really excited for that. He did an interview with him. He commented on my last video about what it's called shaper and all this stuff. It's like, oh, that's awesome. That is like my fanboy high moments in YouTube, to make a video and then like a bigger, more famous YouTube, star comes and comments on your video. That's so cool to me. I'm like geeking out about it. But anyway, back to this box. What is in this box that makes Shopsmith the best power tool ever? Well, another sidebar here. I know we're getting out of hand here, but the eBay community for Shopsmith is amazing. The people that save these parts and have these different accessories and tools for sale, and when you buy something off them, they take such immaculate care of packing them and making sure everything arrives to you in the most perfect condition it can be in. It's just amazing. I love the eBay community around Shopsmith parts. They're awesome. And then he still goes and bubble wraps the entire thing. This is just so cool. So the reason I mentioned that last video, if you stuck around till the end, you'll know that we broke our lower carriage when we were tightening it up in its drill press mode, right? We tightened that screw up so much, and I don't know if that fracture was already in that lower carriage and I just never noticed it or what. It is just like a cast aluminum. That is the main lockdown. It locks to those way tubes. It locks that carriage down so that your tool and what your work surface and all that can be secure. So it's super important that it locks it down securely. And I didn't want to go off just the one side. That was freaking me out. So I went to eBay and I found another carriage. This one is from a little bit more modern, so you'll see it's gray. And I did that on purpose, but I wanted this wheel here. So this wheel is on the more kind of modern-ish, compared to mine, Shopsmith's. And I really wanted that wheel to be able to kind of get better dialing in and control that a little bit more. And that is what sets Shopsmith apart from any other tools. The ability, when you break something, you can just go online and get a new part basically overnighted to you. Here you go. Whether it's going to be Shopsmith now when they're back in business, or the eBay aftermarket resale market, it's just got so many great parts for these things. If I were to break my regular, it's not there anymore. If I was going to break my regular table saw and I broke something off it, there's no way I could go and get parts for that. I would basically have to scrap it and get a new table saw. The ability that this is like the level of commercial tooling. Like if you had a commercial tool in an industrial shop and something breaks, yeah, you can order parts for it and get it overnighted. But usually for the home garage, that people that are using small garage tools to work as hobbies on the weekend, they don't have that ability. If something breaks, they usually just have to throw it away. That's kind of the modern day you know, how things are built now. You just have to throw it away and go get a new one. With anything breaks on this, I can get parts and replace it and fix it. So that's how these things are able to run for so long and just be so great. I think this is amazing. So I am going to put this on the Shopsmith now and get my machine back up and running in a safe manner. I don't know, have a clue how to do that. I'm gonna figure it out as I go. I'm pretty sure I've got to raise the tubes up like kind of in drill press mode, kind of. I'm gonna brace the way tubes, and I got to pull the whole motor head off of it to be able to get the carriage off, because it swings on one axis. So I've got to slide everything off to be able to get that carriage to get this one on. So. Oh, right there's the problem. That whole thing. So I think you're supposed to use paste wax on these. I don't have any right now on me, which is embarrassing. But for all my power tools, anytime I wax a top or anything else, I use microcrystalline wax. Now, I don't know if that's the right thing or not, but it works for me. I feel like I like how it works. I love how it smells, to be honest. And I feel like it does put a good wax coating on everything. So I'm gonna put that on here. I don't know if that's right or not. Maybe don't do that if you have one. Research. Watch my growth rings. He'll tell you what to do. Honestly, wish I had some steel wool on me, but I don't, to kind of clean these up a little bit more. But eventually, when I restore this whole thing, which is on my list of things to do, I'm gonna probably wire brush or something each and every one of these. So there's four of them. The main two are not bad. There's a little rust on the end here, but the bottom ones are really rusty. So I'm gonna take this whole thing apart at some point, probably in the spring when it's warm and I can work outside and tear it all apart. But I'm going to tear the whole thing down and paint everything, restore it right, and just do it the right way. So that way this thing is functioning at its peak. I gotta like square everything up and get everything lined up and stuff. I'm never gonna use that table saw until this thing is like perfect, because honestly, that thing scares me the most, is the table saw part. I know there's guards and stuff for it, but even my old table saw, like I never used my table saw a lot, because honestly, table saws scare the hell out of me. I've used industrial table saws since I was 15. I started when I was 15 years old. I worked in a cabinet maker shop. I built cabinets and helped deliver them and stuff for a while. And I don't know, I've always had a very like terrified respect of them, because table saws are dangerous. But any tool is, as long as you treat it with respect. All right, so we're waxed up. Let's get the new carriage on. Shit. Well, that's not good. The whole speech in the beginning looks really stupid now. Damn it. It's my fault. It's my bad. Hang on. Well, I can't lie, I'm bummed out. I'm disappointed in myself. This was my fault. This was no one else's fault. I looked it up, and so I was under the impression that all Mark V carriages were the same. And for the most part, they are. The way tube, the way they mount on the way tubes are the same. What I did not know, which I could have done with 4 minutes of research, Matt, but it was the Mark 7s and certain pro versions, I guess, of the Mark V with like a quick Google search. offer a bigger work table to work on, like your table saw table or whatever that work table is. And because of that, the mounting holes are a little bit wider. And I think that's what I got here. I got the Mark V Pro version carriage. So this is a little bit wider. If you look at the holes, this is where the weigh tubes go in. These are the holes where the work table goes. And then this is mine off of my Mark V. So if I line these holes up, you can see the whole other hole back here is way over here, while this one's up here. So that sucks. That's a bummer.
Bummer. Huh? This is a bummer, man. That's a bummer.
But it's fine. I've got this for parts now, or I can sell this and get, probably some of my money back, if not all of it, and resell this back on eBay. And then I can get a new one ordered. So we'll see if I can find one with the wheel. I was real excited about the wheel. I wonder if that's interchangeable. I might be able to make the wheel work on that if I can get this one again. I'm not sure, but I'm a little bummed out in myself. I don't think the seller did anything wrong in this case. I think he was totally fine. He did, mark down what it was and what models it were for. And my problem is I don't know the differences between the Mark V models well enough. I was under a certain impression, and that was ignorant of me. So this is nobody's fault but my own. But that being said, we're going to get back to this in a week or two when I can get the right part ordered, because I don't want my Shopsmith down for that long. But, in the meantime, this is a lesson learned. Sometimes some of the best lessons learned are the hard lessons. So I'm going to be positive about this. I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to be a little bit better in my research before I buy parts in the future. I think I've just gotten lucky with every single thing I bought so far is there. So yeah, the Mark V's are pretty interchangeable. Like I said, this slid right on, no problem, and it worked. It locks great. This thing's really cool. I really wish it would work. And I guess it would if I bought all the the Pro tables and stuff, but then all my stuff that I already have is useless. So I want that stuff. So if you want to see that video eventually, if I ever get it and put it online, I don't even know that I should put this online, but you know what? I'm gonna to educate people about doing some research first. Don't just buy on a whim. That this is completely my fault. So if you like to see me screw up and you like this type of content and you want to see more of it, or you want to see more of my Shopsmith series, I've got links in probably the beginning of this and probably down in the description down below to my entire playlist of my Shopsmith from the time I got it to all the different things I've done for it so far. You can check that out down below. This was an epic fail, but thumbnail. But what are you going to do? It is what it is, and I've learned from it now, and I won't make that mistake again. So subscribe down below. Give me a thumbs up on this video to save me from not crying, and comment and tell me it'll be okay, because I've had a very stressful week this week, and this is the cherry on top.
Strong men also cry. Strong men also cry.
I'm deciding to laugh about it. It is what it is. So anyway, do all the things. I'll see you on the next one.